Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to Co-Podcast. I'm your host, Shamarki, and today we have ourselves a very interesting, special guest. He is from the UK, and I'll let him introduce himself to us. So welcome to the podcast, Mr. Siddiq.
Thank you for hosting me,
Thank
Shamake.
Thank you.
Thank
Welcome.
you very much. I appreciate it.
Mhm.
So my name is Sadiq. I'm a pharmacist in the UK, and now I'm based in Somaliland. And I'm based in Somaliland here to help the community and the country in its very important fight against falsified medicines and substandard medicines.
So you're in the medicine field.
Yes, so I am a consultant. So I am not part of the quality control, but I do support them as a consultant
As
with
a consultant,
advising,
right.
with technical assistance and training.
Nice. So can you tell us what initially drew you close to the pharmacy industry?
Pharmacy industry. Okay.
Pharmaceutical industry.
You can go back to almost 15, 20 years ago when I was in my teenage years. And to be honest, I've always wanted to help people. I'm more of like someone who wants to impact lives and save lives. So I had a choice between being a doctor or a pharmacist. Then I looked into doctor and I said, oh, do you know what?
Yeah.
It's just a lot of work.
Yeah.
And the long hours and the late night shifts.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do that. So I thought, you know what else can I do that I can help people?
Yeah.
And obviously I wasn't a fan of blood as well. So then I went down the route of pharmacy, and I was very curious to know how medicines work.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So right now, you, like you said, you are a consultant for the quality control organization in Hargeisa.
Yes.
Could you share some insight into your journey, how that came about?
Okay, so if we're talking about, so of course, originally I am a Somalilander,
Right.
which means I have a connection to this country. I do come every summer to see or to live here or for holidays. So what happened, I think back in 2023, the first week of 2023 in January, I came here on holiday with my family. And when I came, I think one of the biggest buzzwords in the community was, poor quality medicines are causing these problems. And I hear a lot of this chatter around me. Then I said, and then luckily I met one guy that works in quality control, and he was like, "Oh, would you like to come and see what we do?" I was like, "Of course." So I just went out of curiosity. So the first day, they literally threw me in the field and showed me around what they do. When I saw the problem, I was like a bit gobsmacked, to be honest. At first I was like, oh my God. Like, obviously you hear about these problems, but you never really see it. So when I saw it first time, I was like, okay, I think something needs to be done. So me being a pharmacist, it brought me that feeling like, no, I need to do something. And yeah, that's how I ended up going into it. And then the chairman was like, oh yeah, we would need somebody like with your technical skills to help us out in this instances.
Exactly.
So,
So interesting, really interesting. So can you talk about what are substandard and falsified medicine?
Okay.
To our viewers.
For the viewers, they first need to understand the definition.
You're right.
So falsified medicine is a medicine that either claims to be from another source. For example, if it's made in India, it claims to be from the UK, or it also means a medicine that doesn't have the active ingredient in it. Sometimes it might even have wrong ingredients that could be harmful. So that's falsified medicines.
Right.
And then the substandard medicine is technically poor quality medicine. Medicine that is the real medicine, but it's in a poor condition due to storage conditions, due to production, manufacturing.
Right.
So it all depends on the quality. So that's falsified and substandard.
Right. So how about like the extent of the problem that we are facing right now in Hargeisa concerning these substandard and falsified medicine, these problems? How big is the problem?
And to be honest, there's no proper data. Like in Somaliland, there's no real data or real research.
That's true.
So any numbers I gave you, it's not exactly
accurate. Yeah.
But based on what I have seen and the estimates we've done,
Yeah.
is 1 in 5 medicines are either fake, falsified,
Right.
or substandard medicines.
Interesting. Wow. In every 5 medicine, there's one that's either substandard or falsified.
Yes.
Now,
So that's 50%. Pretty
That's
much
50%.
50% of medicines are substandard.
why do you think that's the reason?
Many reasons, again, like I said, because of obviously weak regulatory systems in this country. You know, Somaliland is not a recognized country. It doesn't get a lot of support. And the market, even if you go into the market, it's like an open market. So anything can go in and out. There's no registration of medicine. So these are all reasons that compact the problem. And the people that are selling medicine, some of them don't know anything about medicine itself, and they end up buying the wrong product. Some of them know about medicine and they buy the right product, but they store it in the wrong conditions. So that can deteriorate the quality of medicine.
Right.
So it's a multi-problem
Right.
issue, to be honest.
Interesting. How long has this problem been going on?
Since
the beginning?
Since the fall of the old government, I guess. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
That goes way
so
back.
nearly 30 years.
Yeah.
But it's just people are more aware now because of social media, because of
Yeah.
media. People are realizing, hey, there's an issue,
Right.
you know.
Is it-
So it's more amplified in that sense.
Right. So do you think like the people who bring these fake, falsified, substandard medicine, those people who bring it in, do you think they know what they're doing?
Some do, very few do,
Yeah.
and I call them criminals.
Right.
The majority are either lack of knowledge or not knowing what they are getting. So, for example, a typical Somali businessman would go out to India, for example, and say, hey,
Yeah.
I need the cheapest. Because Somalis are traders, they're not
Traders.
businessmen.
Yeah.
So the first thing they want to do is they want to buy the cheapest,
Yeah.
add a bit of profit and sell it.
Right.
So they will go to India, for example.
Yeah.
And India has got so many manufacturers, like every corner of the
Yeah.
street there's a manufacturer.
That's insane.
You can only imagine, and it's
Wow.
very hard to regulate all those manufacturers.
Right.
So this Somali businessman who has no knowledge of medicine will go there
Yeah.
and say, hey, like, can I get the cheapest of this, of
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
And then obviously these people
These
will
people, yeah.
either con them,
Yeah.
or sometimes he intentionally knowing he will get the wrong product.
Yeah.
So most of the time it's the lack of knowledge, I would say.
Most of the time it's lack of knowledge.
Lack of understanding of medicine.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you would hear like, some businessmen I've sat with, they have zero understanding of medicine. Like they have no
Unbelievable.
background in medicine. Even people that
Unbelievable.
work with them have
Right.
zero understanding of medicine.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So these people are unqualified.
Yes.
Are they even licensed to carry out these kind of trades?
See,
Do you have to be licensed?
See, pharmaceutical industry is the most regulated industry
The
in
most
the world.
regulated.
In the world.
Wow.
In the world.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm.
But in Somaliland, it's the other way around. It's the least regulated.
Wow.
To get medicine in this country, all you have to do is just get a license from Ministry of Health and just import it, and that's it. You don't have to do the licenses. Nobody inspects you, then gives you a license.
Yeah.
There's no hurdles.
Right.
You just have to get that one license and boom.
Even
you
if
start
you're,
doing this.
even if like pharmaceutical is not your background.
Yes, it doesn't
You
matter.
can just go there and just get yourself a
doesn't
license.
Yes, it doesn't matter.
So now, what do you think the steps should be to avoid this?
I think most.
What do you think the country has to do, like start doing?
I mean, this is step one
Yeah.
of awareness.
Yeah.
To telling people what the problem is,
Yeah.
and people being aware of it
Yeah.
was one solution. Also legislations could help as well, increasing the legislation. Recently in Somaliland Quality Control Commission we have formulated a guideline that we are hoping to get it signed soon and implemented. So that guideline will help regulate a little bit of the market, you know,
Right.
because there's zero regulation right now.
Right.
So, I mean, that is also second. And yeah, general awareness of people. And
Right.
and if people tell us if they're having issues with some medications, if
Yeah.
they come to us in quality control,
Yeah.
we can take steps
Yeah.
to fix it.
Is okay. So interesting. That's really really interesting. Good to
Yeah.
know. What consequences out there? Like the government. What action is the quality control right now working on? What are they working on right now to stop these these drugs?
Are you saying how
medicines.
are we investigating?
Yeah, how are you investigating?
So the steps we take.
Are there any consequences?
Let me start with the steps we take first of all. And if a medicine comes in, we do visual inspection. We see the product. Is it okay? Are the product in the right conditions? And then the second step is normally we use a machine called Raman spectroscopy. Check if the actual ingredient is in there. Third step we take is we have a lab in Berbera. It's not the best of labs, but it does have some sort of capabilities. And then the fourth step also we take is something called market surveillance. So we unannounced go into different wholesalers or importers, and we check. So when you say consequences, what do you mean?
I mean, like, let's say, for example, I'm a regular guy and I just started to trade and just get fake medicine into the country. If I get caught, if one of the inspectors catches me, what punishment or what consequences is there for the person?
To be honest, I am not a lawyer.
there,
I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know exactly the
Is
law.
there a law? Like, yeah.
There is a law. There is a law, but I'm not a lawyer. When we, because I work with the inspection side of things, so when we catch them,
Yeah. So what happens when you catch them? Yeah.
we pass them on to our law team that deals with the law side of things.
Oh, right.
And they implement what needs to be done.
Right.
But we do the investigation and we do our verdict.
Right.
And we pass on the verdict normally.
Okay, interested. Now, what are some of the most common methods to detect falsified or substandard medicine
For the public or for us?
for the regular person?
For the regular person.
Yeah.
And
How do we identify?
Okay, so I'll give you an example. If you are a diabetic person,
Right.
or if you've got high blood pressure, and you've been taking this one medication forever for a long period of time, same brand, especially same brand, same medicine, for a long period of time, and then all of a sudden, you bought this medicine from another pharmacy or even the same pharmacy, and all of a sudden that medicine doesn't work, or it gives you side effect that you haven't seen before, then that should be your thing,
First sign.
Yeah, first sign.
Yeah.
If that happens, we always encourage people to either give us a call, SQCC, or come to us, and then we can do the further professional investigation from there onwards.
Okay.
And in order to prevent falsified medicines or substandard medicines, I think I would advise public in general to try and always buy it from a reputable source. Like some pharmacies are really well known to only sell very good quality medicines.
Yeah.
And I know it's a cliche, but if you go to a clinic or a hospital and a doctor prescribes you a medicine, I always encourage people to buy that medicine from another pharmacy, not the pharmacy in the clinic itself or the hospital. Go to another one.
Wow.
That way, you don't encourage the doctor to overprescribe medications.
Interesting. That's a good point. Why do you think that's an interesting point? Why? Because the doctor, because they work all in the same facility, right? I don't know. Do you think what's the case? Like, do you think they just want to make money and just write you all this?
See, the thing is, the whole idea of quality of medicine has two sides to the coin. So one is the actual prescribing.
Yeah.
And other is the quality of the product because of the importers and pharmacies. Okay, so if the medicine is good quality, but the doctor's prescribing the wrong item, then that can affect the patient. Does it make sense?
Definitely.
And so I always say, because a lot of doctors, I'm not going to generalize and say all of them, but there's some few doctors that are encouraged by business, because if you go to neighboring countries, for example, Ethiopia, even UK, and even other African countries, a doctor cannot own a pharmacy.
Wow.
A doctor is not allowed to own pharmacy. This is so that it can take out the incentive of the doctor over prescribing product.
Yeah.
So in some instances, I've seen situations where a doctor is giving antibiotics that are not suitable for the condition,
Right.
just because he knows it's in his stock, and he needs to get rid of the
And
stock.
he wants to get rid of it.
And
yeah.
that can cause antimicrobial resistance and a lot of other issues. So I always encourage people when I'm encouraging them, I always tell them, go to one doctor, get yourself checked, diagnosed, and when you're getting prescribed, go to another pharmacy. Go to another reputable pharmacy, just so that you can take out the incentive.
Definitely
Yes.
interesting. A guy like myself, let's say, God forbid, I got sick. Go to this pharmacy, trying to get a medicine for my sickness, whether that be a fever, a cold, whatever that might be. Now I walk in and I tell them, hey, I need this medicine. This is my problem, and then it's just give me a medicine. So how do I look at the medicine, look at the package? What are the signs? Like, just looking at the package itself.
Not the package as such. Maybe if it's a tablet, you can always open it, and if you see any cracks in the tablet, that is definitely a substandard medicine.
Do we look for is there a such thing as expiration date on packages?
Yeah, there are expiration dates. Yeah,
you're supposed to
It is obviously, if you look at this expiration date and you see like some smudges and or somebody has tried to change it, then obviously do not take it. Yes, and like I said, if you open up the pack and you see the tablet is broken or anything like that, that's one issue. If you've got a liquid and if you look up the liquid and you see like something in there, then there's other issues. I mean, these are basic things, but I think the biggest one I've already told you was if you're a long-term user of a medicine and you feel it's not all of a sudden working, or you're getting a weird side effect that you're not used to, then always report it to the SQCC.
Okay. What are your goals and priorities in the ongoing fight against falsified medicines in Hargeisa and beyond?
And to be honest, our main plan is first to secure Hargeisa, and then move on to different cities in Somaliland, and then eventually move on to neighboring countries like Somalia, Ethiopia, Djibouti, because to be honest, this problem is common in all of Africa. It's just a bit more acute in East Africa, mainly Somalia, Somaliland, Djibouti, and parts of Ethiopia. Acute, when I say acute,
why do you say that?
Because of the legislations are either not there or they're not implemented properly. So they're still a bit behind. So I want Hargeisa or Somaliland to be an example, and then we move on. Because let's just say there's time, if you secure Hargeisa, we do get products, medicines coming from Somalia, like in Mogadishu, like by land. There's so many, like the border is porous. You see, so it's a wholesome game. So you have to eventually get on with different sections of the country. The only benefit we have at the moment in Somaliland is safety effect. So the fact that it's safe, you can implement things.
Definitely.
You know, compared to Somalia. If I was to do the same job in Somalia, I don't know about my safety.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. You couldn't carry out your work.
Yes.
Where are we standing right now, and are things getting better?
And we have implemented a lot, to be honest, since I've joined. SQCC is a very young organization, very thirsty to do change, to make change. The chairman is a very honest man who wants to impact and do something about it. Hence why he's asked for my help. And so, I mean, Rome was not built in one day. It's been a year and a half. I think it's just the last 8 months we have caught up to 11 to 12 importers or wholesalers that were selling falsified medication. Some of them we have posted them on social media. And the last one was was claiming to be a British product, but it wasn't. Fortunately, we did have some help from the MHRA, which is the Somaliland Quality Control equivalent in the UK. They regulate medicines. So whenever we found something, they were very forthcoming to support with verifying certain things that are written on it.
Nice. So you do collaborate with other countries?
International organizations. Yeah, yes.
To verify if those medicines are legit.
Yes. We would love to have more collaboration, to be honest.
Yeah.
And it can save life more, but yeah, I mean, that's what keeps me awake every day. I'm happy about it, and I know I'm saving lives, and I want to keep doing that.
MashaAllah. You're doing such an amazing thing. Thank you so much, Mr. Sadiq, for today's episode.
Thank you.
You did give us a lot of valuable information and insights, and we hope to see you again.